It's a trap!
Hello everyone and welcome back to a special presentation of Anime Club After Dark. I'm your host Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and I'm joined tonight by our Chivalry of Shota's Shotaro.
I'm thirsty for a nice chilled pumpkin spice frappuccino.
Oh man.
Norwegian style.
I mean, yeah, it's getting to be that time of year. So we are back discussing the third episode of Vinland Saga. So,
Me.
Some things happened in this episode.
Did they now?
So at the end of episode 2, sort of ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, I'd say. We found out that Floki was trying to have Thor's killed, and we kind of got more of exposition / backstory on why that is in this episode.
Yeah, they continued the scene.
Yeah, basically, it's literally just a continuance of the scene from the last episode to this one. So Floki tells Askeladd that there's an execution order out on him for breaking military law and deserting. It's worth mentioning that Askeladd thinks this is an outright lie.
He says that later on in the episode, but not.
He does say that. He does say that later on in the episode, but it is still relevant to the conversation because I personally believe that he thought it was a lie from the very beginning.
Well, when I heard Floki say that, I was like, immediately bullshit, because that makes no sense. Like, yeah. Thor's is, like they said before, I don't know who said this, but someone said that Thor's is, wait, was it in this episode? Oh, god damn it, I'm mixing up all the episodes! Ah! Okay, you know what? Okay, Thor's is clearly a very talented fighter. So, they would obviously make a special exemption for him. Like, there's no way that he would get an execution order just for deserting. That makes no sense to me. So that's why it's so bullshit.
Yeah, it does sort of play as bullshit. That's why I think that Askeladd probably knew that from, right, straight from the outset. Right after it left Loki's mouth, it's like, nah, that's bullshit, but I'm going to pretend to believe it. So something else that happens during this whole conversation is this unbelievable show of, like, dominance by Bjorn, one of Askeladd's underlings. Throws a spear through one of Loki's subordinates hiding behind the tapestry while they're talking.
Also, I like that his name is...
Ultimate T-posing is what that is.
Oh my god. I like that his name is Bjorn. That's such a stereotypically Norwegian name.
It kind of is.
I feel like it's like the Bob of Norwegian names. Like Bjorn.
It may very well be. It's probably a popular Norwegian name. I don't know how popular it was at the time, but it is a name I've actually heard before, so yeah, maybe it is.
Also, I can't believe Floki put up with that bullshit. Like, you just lost one of your men. And, like, this isn't, like, some run-of-the-mill guy. Clearly, they invested a lot of resources into training him. And you just lost him for nothing. For just, like, bullshit. So, I don't know why Floki's like, fine. Also, so, Floki putting up with his subordinate being speared means that he respects Askeladd on some level. Because he's like, fine, you can do that. So, well, I don't know why I don't know why.
I think certainly it shows that he respects his authority in certain situations. Obviously, Askeladd and his underlings have some kind of training to pull all this off. So maybe it's some kind of weird respect for that.
Maybe.
That's my theory.
I guess. I think what the show is trying to say is that Floki respects Askeladd's troops' military prowess, but like visually they seem like idiots, and then Floki's crew seems like fucking mass murderers. So like I don't like it. The idea that the show is trying to tell me isn't sold on me, because it doesn't feel like Askeladd's troop is actually that dangerous.
I definitely get it. Do you think it would? Because Floki doesn't even really acknowledge this happened in front of Askeladd. Do you think it would have been more like reasonable had he actually like acknowledged the fact that, hey, you just killed my dude under there?
Well, it would be not really. It would be more believable if Askeladd's troop actually acted not like idiots and more, or at least had a moment where they acted like they were gonna, like, I don't know, like they look like they're literally clowns from the circus that are all being like whipped around to do stuff.
I mean, if you think about it, they kind of, when they're first sort of introduced in episode 2, it sort of is kind of a circus jovial atmosphere, isn't it?
I forget. Was that the same scene?
No, it happens right before the start of episode 3, where they're all kind of around drinking and they're throwing axes at the Christian monk.
Yeah, like very stereotypically Viking and very like idiotic, whereas Floki is like all serious.
Yeah.
Did you notice that right before he Bjorn speared the guy that Floki was about to like attack Askeladd?
Mm-hmm. I noticed that. I
didn't notice that until my second viewing because I need multiple times because I fell asleep halfway. No.
No, I noticed it. It was very, very subtle, but if you pay attention, you can definitely see it. But yeah, I do get what you were saying before, that like you understand what the show was trying to sell you, you're just not buying it.
Yeah, I understand it. I just don't accept it. I don't know.
I mean, it's fair enough. It probably could have been done better. So after this whole thing goes down, Askeladd does indeed agree to take on payment for going to kill Thors as Floki wants. And after Floki leaves, Askeladd is theorizing that because he doesn't really believe this idea of an execution order being put out for him, he theorizes that he was probably hired because Floki may either be going against orders killing Thors, or he's actually pissing himself, afraid that he's going to get heavy losses if he goes after him himself. Do you buy those theories?
Yes. Well, I don't buy the heavy losses. Too. I feel like, okay, fine. I kind of, maybe 50-50.
Well, okay. I can certainly believe the former, that he's going against orders and killing Thors. But as for the latter, I'm afraid of heavy losses. He may think about the heavy losses, but I don't think he's afraid of it.
I feel like if he had orders to recover Thors, then if he killed Thors, he would be failing his orders. So that doesn't make sense to me.
But if someone else killed him in his stead, then it really wouldn't be like he failed his mission.
No, I'm pretty sure that's still failing orders. Because he said that when he tried to recruit Thors... Wait, did that already happen? Where he tried to recruit him?
Yes.
Yes, okay. He was like...
episode 2, God.
He was like, if you don't come with me, I will be failing my orders. So what that means is that he has to do everything in his power to succeed in his orders, which includes, if your orders are to bring person A to point B, then if a mercenary comes and kills the person A, that is your fault because you were tasked with that task. So to me, that's still failing orders. So I don't buy that he's going against orders. I also don't buy that he's going to... Okay, if there was a fight between Floki and Thors, then I think he'll lose maximum 2 men, but he'll still kill Thors because he's outnumbered. So I don't think there's going to be heavy losses. I think that there were no orders. No one knows about Thors except Floki, and Floki's killing him for some other reason.
You think it could be like a personal vendetta?
Maybe.
I mean, I could certainly see it, and I have to say, with all the evidence that you have so far, I could definitely believe it, that it's a personal vendetta. He may have actually... I can buy that he may have been ordered to go find Thors and bring him somewhere, but along the way, he might have thought, I'm just going to kill this motherfucker.
I don't think he's been ordered to do that, because then that would be going against orders.
It could be. It could be the one. I think that we can all agree that there isn't an execution order out for him, though. I'm pretty sure that's a lie.
Well, there might be, but there's not. I don't think it's being enforced.
Maybe. We'll have to see. I'm hoping that will be revealed in future episodes.
Who knows?
Because there definitely seems to be a conspiracy afoot.
I think that might be. Well, I feel like that might tie into the main plot.
Yeah. All right. So something else that happens during this, Thor's obviously from back in episode 2 is getting a bunch of people together in his little village in Iceland together to go to battle, and you actually get to see people getting ready for it and heading to the ship. And one of the things that happens is Thorfinn sneaks on the ship, and he's only discovered after they leave and get out in the open ocean.
Yep.
So I have something to say about this.
What?
First of all, I'm not sure if it was intentional, but I laughed a lot when this happened. Not the actual, well, yeah, when he actually pops out of the little barrel that he's hiding in, I laughed a little bit because the first thing he does is like, oh, we're out in the open ocean. I gotta take a piss. And he just goes to the side of the ship and he's like just pissing off the side of the ship. And then the next thing you see is Thor's coming over to him and just giving him a fucking spanking. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you might be a good father.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know if that scene was meant to play as being funny, but I sure laughed.
I feel like it was meant to be funny, but I didn't laugh. Corporal punishment is not funny. Alex. No, I'm joking. But I didn't find it funny.
I don't know. For some reason, I laughed when I saw it. I won't say it's like a belly laugh, but it certainly gave me a little chuckle.
I'm glad you had a chuckle.
Also, can we talk about the giant fucking oar that Thor's was using?
So anime.
I thought so too. I'm like, Jesus H. Christ, man. He's the only person. He's the only person rowing on one side of the ship, and he has this massive oar that's like 3 times as big as he is.
Very historically accurate.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. I just thought it was comically funny. It's like the giant swords they use in Final Fantasy. It's just comically funny.
You know what they say about a man with a big oar.
Yeah. So something else that happens during this little trip. By the way, they end up going to the Faroe Islands, but we'll get to that in a second. But something else that happens on this trip is there's a flashback we actually get to see to Ylva's birth. So we find out it was roughly 15 years ago, I believe is when they said in the episode. So she's 15, 16 years old ish, in that range.
Oh, I didn't catch how many years ago that was.
Yeah, it was either 15 or 6. Well, I think he said at the time that it was 15 years ago when he met Helga. Thor's met Helga, his wife. So that would make her somewhere around 15 or 16 ish, maybe 14.
Who?
But
Ylva?
Huh? Yeah, Ylva would make her
Ylva
somewhere between 14 and 16, I'm assuming.
She looks 18 to 19 to me, but
I'm just going by what was said in the show.
I'm just saying.
I'm just
ages
saying
are never make any sense.
When it comes to ages in anime, always get the receipts. But anyway, I thought this scene where they show Ylva's birth gave us some pretty good backstory into Thor's. So when he first holds the baby right after Ylva as a baby while she's born, he like is holding her with absolutely no emotion. Like, this is a thing. Okay, here you go.
He held it like a sack of potatoes.
Pretty much, and like the midwives are there, like, you gotta support the head. And then he just just coldly says, "All right, give me a boy next."
I'm just like, damn, what a cunt.
which is funny. Like, people didn't realize this at the time, but it's actually the man who determines the gender of the child when it's born, because it's the sperm that gives the sex chromosomes.
Wait, what?
It's the man's sperm that gives the sex chromosomes whether it's an extra X or a Y chromosome, which determines the gender of the baby.
Sure. I
So
thought
it's
you meant
actually
like
his fault for it's technically the man's fault for having a girl.
Sure.
They didn't realize this back then. This is actually something I think it was realized back in like the 17 or 1800s. But then Helga looks at him and says, "What am I gonna name this child?" And he's like, "Well, name this child whatever you want to name this child." And he's like, "No, you're gonna name the child."
Now that's baby mamas out there. That's how you keep your man.
And we also find out that Ylva was Thor's mother's name, so that's who she's named after. But then at the very end of this little flashback, Thor says this is when he began getting scared of battle.
But okay, wait, sorry, but isn't that awkward to name your daughter after your mother? I know people do that, but like, wouldn't you get confused?
Well, if his mother was not alive anymore, probably not.
But like emotionally confused.
I don't think so.
I would get confused.
It is something that happens quite often, though. People naming their children after their fathers or their mothers.
I can understand like grandmothers and grandfathers, but like direct mother, I feel that's too close. Hashtag too
maybe
close.
I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. I don't really think there's anything more to it than that, though. Maybe it was the first female name he could think of besides Helga.
God, he's such a blockhead.
But anyway, yeah, this is the point where Thor says he began getting scared of battle, which is kind of understandable. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who have said that having a child grounds you and makes you realize what's important in life, and it's certainly believable to today's societal standards.
I call bullshit. Like you said, that's by today's societal standards, not by the Vikings. I still don't think that's true. Like, I don't think that's true in the story. I think there's still another reason.
Maybe, but yes, I did say it was relatable by today's standards. I didn't say it was accurate to the standards at the time. I just said that it was relatable because I've talked to so many people who were like wild people, like, partiers and all kinds of crazy shit.
I'm just like, what do you mean by wild?
People that like love to party and like love to just do crazy things, and they have a child and it just grounds them and it mellows them out and makes them realize what's important in life. So that particular thing, if it's true, if he's not just bullshitting the audience, then I think that's relatable to a lot of people, especially people who have had children.
Well, yes, it is. I think it is relatable. But I don't think it was meant to be a meta thing. I think he was in the story, he's lying to the young kid. I forgot his name. Black-haired kid. Because
Alvy?
Yeah.
Or I forget his name too.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
Ari.
Okay.
That was his name. Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he's embellishing the story or just outright lying to him. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to fool the audience. I don't know that either.
I think his motive for lying would be so that they don't think he's cowardly. So that the villagers don't. So that there's a proper reason.
Well, they certainly look up to him as if he's not cowardly, so maybe he's just trying to keep up that facade.
Yep.
All right, so toward the end of this episode, they actually make it to the Faroe Islands, and they run right into a trap.
It was a pretty cool trap.
It was a very cunning trap, actually. So they find this out because Leif has actually been to this village that they're going to, and he notices that there's not as many houses as there used to be. Like, there's a very large difference in the number of houses there used to be, and that's because they actually they busted up a lot of the houses and took the stuff up to the top of the ravine, which they are sailing through. And as they realized this and started to turn back, they actually blocked the exits with the mortar and the wood and all the furniture and stuff from the houses. They just threw it in the ravine and blocked the boats.
That's a pretty keen observation. Trap. Very anime observation. It's like, there's one less house. Turn back! It's a trap!
It kind of does seem very anime now that I'm thinking about it. You're right.
It's such like a little tiny detail. It's like ah, but it was true. It was a good observation. Also, I don't.
One of these days, I'm just looking forward to an anime that says, "There's less oxygen in this room than there used to be. This must be a trap."
That's very memey of you. So I don't quite understand because like the amount of debris that they tossed into the ravine is not enough to sink to the bottom and like, you know, go from the bottom of the ravine to the top where the debris is. Like, there's no way they could have dumped that much debris. I just don't think that's possible. But is it just because, like, the wood floats on top? I don't...
Yeah, well, yeah, wood floats.
Yeah, but
most
like,
woods float.
I mean, but there was some rocks in there, too. So I was just would this actually work? Like, if you put... Or, like, why did the wood bunch up? Why didn't it just, like, disperse, float out? I don't know if this would actually work.
You're thinking about this too much.
No, but like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, there's no way they could get enough debris to go from the bottom to the top, and I don't know why it all bunched up. So, I would like to know. I need someone to test this out IRL. Someone needs to go to the Faroe Islands, demolish a house, and then toss it into the ravine. And
I think there was a lot more debris there than it came from one house.
Well, you can do 2 houses if you're feeling very energetic. That's your homework. That's what you have to do for next episode.
Well,
which we're releasing at the same time.
Yes, and the way Jesus, and the way this episode ends, we actually get to see Thor's being a fucking badass. So he just jumps onto one of the ships of Askeladd has 2 ships that are approaching him. He jumps onto one of them and just starts taking out people barehanded. And I'm like, damn, this is like some superhero level shit you're doing right here. It's like, god damn, super Viking.
Girl, I thought he was Norwegian, not Chinese with that kung fu. That's racist. But no, he had some nice, I don't know, those Naruto signs that you make with your hands, power signs. You made some good ones with those, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it was a good slapping. I like it.
It was got him slapped down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much how it ends. I mean,
are they chakra signs? Is that what they are?
Yes.
Okay.
You're really trying to figure that word out, weren't you?
I haven't even watched Naruto. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty much how the episode ends. You see him just take out a bunch of people barehanded, and the ship that he's on is actually the ship that Bjorn's on. So he's approaching Bjorn. Is very reminiscent of that episode of part 3 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where he's like, Jotaro's approaching Dio, like, ho ho, you're approaching me.
I haven't watched that, I don't think. But yeah, Thor's looks like he's going to whoop some ass.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. The episode itself ends sort of as a to be continued. So we will see what happens in the next episode. I would like to point out that this is the last of the first 3 episodes, which were all released on the same day at the beginning of the summer season. I want to ask you real quick, Sho, was that a good idea or no?
I personally don't like it because I enjoy looking... Wait, we have to wait 3 weeks for the 4th episode, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would have liked to go week by week. Because it's like the crack dealer. Like, if you give me 3 servings of crack all at once, like, what am I supposed to do next week? Like, I need a consistent hit every week, or like I'm gonna go, you know. So
yeah, I kind of think it was an interesting decision. I still don't think we've ever really gotten a reason as to why it's been done like this, but I I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I feel like if maybe they had released all 12 episodes at the beginning, all of the first 12 episodes at the beginning of the summer season, and then all 12 episodes at the beginning of the fall season for the second half, then maybe I could see some logic behind this. But as it stands, I really don't see what the point of doing it was.
Maybe that's what they planned to do, but then things went wrong in the production cycle.
Maybe that's actually a good point. Maybe that was the plan all along, and then they got like halfway through and it's like, we can't do this, we gotta like scale this back.
Oh honey, if the CG water tells me anything, it's that there were problems with the production cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even really think about that until you said it. You make a good point. That could be it. As of now, they, WIT has not said why they decided to do this, but we can only speculate. But yeah, I kind of have mostly negative opinions on how it was done. I don't really see a point behind it, so I just wanted to get your opinion on it since this is the last.
I don't really care that much. I mean, it's not a big difference.
Yeah, I guess it's not a big difference if you're streaming it, for sure. Maybe if you were only watching it on TV, it might be a bigger difference.
Why?
Because you'd have to set aside, instead of just 30 minutes to watch an episode, you got to set aside an hour and a half.
It's called recording the television.
I know that, but I'm just saying.
I think most people record the television.
Anyway, the point is, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense, so we don't know why they did it.
Who knows?
Anyway, that is episode 3 of Vinland Saga. Thank you all there for dropping in to listen to us. We hope you enjoyed it, because we always enjoy bringing this stuff to you. If you want to check out previous episodes of the podcast, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, you can join us on Discord, Facebook, Twitter, and our website. Shoot us an email if you have any questions, or if you have ideas for topics you would like for us to talk about in the future. Links to all these things will be down below in the description. As always, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, show.
I want to hide on Thor's ship so he'll spank me.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll be right back.